Welcome back to another episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. As always, we got the full cast. We got Adam, we got Alex, we got Chris, and we got Keith. Welcome back to week 5 of college football. If you've been following along, we do our weekly pick'ems, 10 picks a week. At the end of the season, whoever has the worst record has to do a punishment. We're still deciding on that part, I think. But we have a shift in the rankings this week. And before we jump into it, make sure you hit the subscribe button for us. Free to you, means a lot to us. If you're already a subscriber, thanks for coming back for another video. You are the absolute best. We love you guys. Make sure you like the video for us so that it does become more popular, get in front of more people. And as always, you can hit us in the comments. You know we'll get back with you. So, little dual action tonight, doing the beer review with the pick'ems through our 10 pick'ems tonight. So, as I mentioned, big shift in the rankings. Alex with a 9-1 week this past week, absolutely dominating it. The only letdown was Wake. The very first game of the pick and the very first game of the weekend, Wake lost it for him. But Florida State, Oregon, Utah, Bama, Washington State, Penn State, South Carolina, Hawaii, and Ohio State, 9-1. So after a 9-1 week, Alex is no longer in last. I fall last after having a solid 5-5 week. Adam took over the top spot from Keith, moving into 30-17, and now Keith and Alex are tied at 29-18. So still just a 2-game separation between me and Adam.
Going 8-2 wasn't bad either.
No, it's pretty solid, right?
But 9-1 is impressive.
Yeah.
Would have made money.
No, I went 7-3.
Yeah.
Hell, 8-2 would have won money too.
Yeah.
Chris
Chris
tried to make up ground and fucked himself.
Yeah, Chris tried to get froggy with some things.
Yeah, I decided this season I'm picking with the Heart since I was.
I would like to point out I was the only person to go with Nick Saban and the Tide.
You absolutely were, and
I said in the last video that it's hard to go against Nick Saban, and I went with him, and
he did not let you
no,
down.
he did not.
He did not let you down.
And
so.
Saban, we trust.
That was also like really awesome week of college football. Like so many elite games that were going on.
Yeah.
So a little less on the elite game side this time. We've got 4 ranked matchups this week. This time we're going to start first game off with the Utah Utes, number 10 in the country, 4-0. 9 p.m. Start for them on Friday night. Number 19 Oregon State. They're 3-1 after a loss this past week to Washington State. Oregon State is the 3-point favorite at home. Do you want to start, or do you want to let Alex start this?
I'll start us off here.
Okay.
I still like Oregon State and what they're doing. I own Utah, and I have been surprised with what they've done, missing their starting quarterback in Cameron Rising. Hopefully, good news is coming out of Utah camp. He has had a full week of practice as of last week, and is so far looking like another full week this week, and is to make his start Friday night. I'm taking Utah on the road against Oregon State.
Okay. All right.
I'm just going to go Oregon State. I'm going to do it. DJ Ukulele is
DJ Ukulele.
Yeah, DJ Ukulele. I think he's just rocking and rolling right now. Even if Utah gets their guy back, it's going to be that, how quickly can he meld right back into just game flow? Practice flow is different. Still might be a little hiccup. Still might be a little bit of, you don't know how he mentally be like, all right, I'm trying to nurse this injury or trying to avoid hits to it.
Yep.
But I just think Oregon State's the better team right now.
Yeah, this is tough. I went Oregon State last week versus Wazoo. They got really exposed both on the defensive side and a kind of a spread offense, how a spread offense can beat their defense. Their defense is built more like an SEC defense or a Big Ten defense, right? A lot of big guys up front, a lot of pass rush power, decent secondary built back. Don't like to miss tackles in the run game, but man, that Washington State offense exposed Oregon State last week for being like, I don't want to say more physical, but just couldn't hang with them with the speed, and so and then you turn around and really Oregon State just showed that once they get down, they can't get back. And I do think this will be a close game. Cameron Rising is absolutely the most important piece of this puzzle, right?
Yeah.
He's had another full week of practice. The reports say he's splitting first team reps. If they get Cameron Rising back, I feel a lot better about this pick. I am going to go Utah just because Oregon State let me down last week.
Like Chris was saying, I think Oregon State did get exposed last week. DJ Ukulele did not look that good. I think he had less than 200 yards and only one touchdown at the end of the game. I think Utah has the better defense. I like what Utah's done. I like what they did last week against UCLA by keeping UCLA down to 7 points. So I'm going to go with Utah.
We got number 22 Florida, who's 3-1 on the road at a nooner
Compared to that, I shouldn't have heard it.
in Kentucky, 4-0 Kentucky. So Alex, this one's going to start with you. Number 22 Florida, 3-1 on the road, nooner at Kentucky. Kentucky 4-0 this season. People in Kentucky upset that they're not in the top 25 right now, although you've played nobody, so that's my defense. But Kentucky is a 1-point favorite in this game.
Florida.
Right.
Kentucky's played nobody. You get the 3 points for being at home, so really they're saying Florida's going to be the 2-point favorite on this. Florida's beat Tennessee. Kentucky's gone. Who are these teams? Who is EKU?
Eastern Kentucky.
Eastern
Okay.
Kentucky. So they beat
Eastern
Ball State.
Kentucky, Ball State,
Akron.
and then Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And you let Vandy score 28 on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy Florida for me.
Yeah, this is a scenario where I'm going to say you got to prove it to me first before I believe you, and so I will take Florida on this one too. I think Kentucky is a good team. I like Devin Leary, but they've played absolutely nobody.
Their toughest competition was
got to here. You can mix this up. That way he gets some flow in that.
in the mash.
He is straight up just like breakfast juice.
In the mash that he's drinking down there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that thing is thick, OJ.
Thick.
All right.
I agree with both of you guys had said. Kentucky's not proven themselves. Yes, they're 4-1, but again, your toughest competition has been Vanderbilt. I mean, you beat up a Ball State.
They were at Vandy, man. That's a wild crowd.
Yeah, all 38,000 of those go down. Yeah.
How about that?
So, I'm gonna go Florida here. I think Florida on the road gets it done, especially at a nooner.
Okay.
Um,
I will say Mark Stoops did get asked yesterday about how he thought the crowd would be for a noon crowd, and he said the great people of Kentucky can get up and drink beer in the morning. So
I'm going Florida here as well. Like y'all said it all. Kentucky just hadn't played anybody yet. Florida just got a good quality win over Tennessee.
Great win over Tennessee.
So, yeah. Kentucky, I like your QB. I like them at NC State, but y'all don't have the resume yet like Florida has.
Yeah.
all right, game 3. This one a bit interesting. 2 group of 5 teams that are really good. Broncos of Boise State not having the great start to the season that I think they wanted, but they're 2-2. 4:00 game at Memphis. Memphis 3-1. Broncos losses, in my opinion, pretty quality teams, right? You got Washington and then Central Florida. The loss for Memphis is to Mizzou this past week. So again, these losses, quality, the out-of-conference opponents.
Well, and they hung with Mizzou too.
Yeah, they hung with Mizzou as well. So Memphis a 3.5-point favorite.
So I'll pick them.
Do what?
I'll pick them.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got the home field
They're
advantage.
half-point favorite. The quarterback play is what's really caused these teams not to be super great, right? Green, the big kid from Texas last year that transferred, and so, or not transferred, sorry, came to Boise State as a true freshman last year, was playing a lot. He's thrown 4 picks to 4 touchdowns, and then
Memphis, who generally runs the ball, is throwing all over the place.
yeah, 1,100 yards already, 8 touchdowns, 5 picks. I'll go the home team here. I mean, I don't know that I see anything that makes me pick otherwise, so I'll stick with Memphis and go the home team.
Don't you own Boise this year?
No, I owned Boise last year.
Okay.
I don't have them this year too. I don't have them. I think Boise definitely has not been the team that we expect them to be. They haven't been that great defensively. Now, granted, like you said, they did give up the loss to Washington, who has one of the most high-powered offenses in the country. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Yeah.
But that loss to UCF was a pretty close loss. Of course, it was. I mean, they did lose at home, which kind of hurts. But I think we're the home team here too. I'm going with Memphis. I think their quarterback play's just been better. I think they'll be able to go out there and throw for a lot of yards. So
I hadn't watched much of either one of these teams, but
Wow, man, those are definitely the top contenders out of the Group of 5.
I did watch Memphis Navy that Thursday night.
I watched that 'cause it was on at the restaurant I was at.
so I don't know. I'll just go against.
Navy could have won that ball game. Just putting that out there, Memphis should have lost that to Navy.
I'll go against the grain here. I'll take Boise, just to be opposite. See if I can't go up a game here.
Well, it's going to be split because I'm going Boise as well. The key factor on that is the fact that Memphis had to make a last down stand against Navy to hold on to win that game. And you're going to Mizzou. They just lost to Mizzou. This really could be a 2-game skid that they're on right now. And I think Boise's getting warmed up. Where I think those first 2 credible losses they had, and I feel like they've gotten to where now they're kind of ironing out the kinks. So I'm going to go with Boise State.
Okay. Don't you own Memphis in the college league?
No.
No.
I do not.
Okay. Everybody's favorite here at the table, the Clemson Tigers, spelled with a P there. 2-2.
RSUX at the end.
RSUX. The 2-2 Tigers are on the road to the 4-0 Syracuse Orange. Clemson's 2 losses, obviously at Duke and then Florida State this past week at home in overtime. Syracuse 4-0. Colgate, Western Michigan, Purdue, and Army.
Dropped a lot of points on Colgate and Western Michigan. Army and Purdue's a little bit tighter than I would hope for. Purdue's not a bad team though.
Yeah, Purdue's a decent team.
And then Army, the problem playing with any academy, even though Memphis versus Navy, I just talked about that, is
You're playing that triple option.
triple option that burns so much time.
That nobody runs it, so it's very hard to prepare for.
Yeah.
No matter who you are.
Your time of possession is very limited, and you might get 4 half almost if you're lucky.
Right, depending on how well they're executing their offense. Yeah.
If you can get
start us off with
I'm starting on this.
So Clemson a 6.5 point favorite.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
especially at
the Carrier Dome.
Yeah.
I think it's not the Carrier Dome anymore, but I'm still gonna call it the Carrier Dome.
Yeah,
but
it's still Heinz Field.
Yes, it is. It's still Heinz Field. That is correct. That is correct. Yeah. This is one of those things where I want to say
Syracuse.
Syracuse, but in actuality, I think Syracuse can win this game because I think they have the better quarterback. The Carrier Dome is such a hard place to play. Clemson struggles in Syracuse almost every time they play up there. It's always a close game in Syracuse. Fuck it, give me Syracuse. I think Schrader's the better quarterback. He's much better than Klubnik. I'm thinking Clemson to go on a 2-game skid here.
First time having 3 regular season losses in how long?
Years.
Yeah.
Years.
They didn't go 7-5 last year, like you said a couple weeks ago.
I don't remember how would they win, but
I think Keith made a lot of good points just now, but I know Cade's not the key to that offense. I think it's Will Shipley and getting him the ball one way, shape, or form, however you do it. That's the guy the ball needs to be in his hands. And I think he has seen enough of Syracuse, and I think he could kind of lead this team, not from the quarterback position, but he'll be able to lead this team, that offense. Give him some inside pointers, what you need to do. Give me Clemson over Syracuse.
It was 2 years ago Clemson lost 3 regular season games.
They lost to Georgia and to Kenny Pickett, Pittsburgh, though. So, it's 2 very good teams.
And
NC
NC
State.
State.
NC State,
that was a Devin Leary NC State game.
That was a field goal game, too. I'm pretty sure it was the last second field goal.
Yeah, that's how most of their losses were.
I agree with Adam here that Cade's not the key to the offense just because the productivity is just definitely more towards Will Shipley. I will say that I truly believe it's because Garrett Riley's playbook is not truly his. It's more of a Dabo Swinney built playbook, and Garrett Riley's just trying to work off of that and make the best of it. And it's like he said, Syracuse always finds a way to trip them up every once in a while. especially when you're going up to Syracuse. It's just when was like. It's just hard to say that Clemson's going to lose two in a row.
They lost. Wow, I think the last time they lost in Syracuse is like 3 years ago.
But I just feel like Syracuse is going to do it and shock the world. I'm going to go Syracuse.
I think it was 4 years ago.
I watched the game. I was in Savannah when it happened.
4 years ago would have been in Clemson.
In 5.
It was in
Syracuse.
it was in Syracuse. It was like Halloween or October 13th or something because I was in Savannah when that happened.
Yeah, this is hard. I agree with all of y'all's points. It's like, I look at the schedule for Syracuse and I say, have you really played anybody? Purdue's 1-3. Army's probably the best team they've played. I own Western Michigan. They suck, and we know Colgate's not even FBS. So you look at that, and then on top of that, it's like, Clemson has only played one game on the road. It was the Duke game, and that was probably the ugliest game of Clemson football in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
And so it's like, man, what is it going to be like going to the Carrier Dome? It's a noon game that maybe helps a little bit with the environment. I do agree that I think Clemson's offense, if they're going to win this game, is definitely going to have to put up 30 points. Like, they're going to have to be efficient here. And maybe take the ball out of Cade's hands just a little bit. Like, let's get the ball to Will Shipley in more ways than just handing it off to him. So, Garrett Schrader, the top rusher for Syracuse, that makes things dangerous. But last week Alex taught me something. Ride with Nick Saban, right? And so I'm going to ride Clemson until they actually show me they can lose back-to-back games. So I'll take Clemson for this one.
You're putting
Nick Saban to Clemson like that.
Yeah, God, it's an insult to Nick Saban.
Yeah, that's it. It's the tenure of Clemson, man. They don't lose back-to-back games since.
But
2009.
They're not the Clemson of 2016.
This isn't the Alabama of 2018, but
But they beat Ole Miss.
It's
They did
not.
beat Ole Miss.
It's not the Clemson of 2016.
they did beat Ole Miss. So back down to you, my friend. We got number 24, Kansas, 4-0.
Texas.
Okay.
Just go ahead and put that down.
Well,
I think this
That's probably gonna be a clean sweep.
No, I think this is not gonna be close.
You think the 17-point line is respectable there?
Vegas always knows something.
I wouldn't be surprised if Texas beats them by 24.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Kansas is a 17-point underdog. Vegas always knows something. Kansas is also going to Texas.
Yeah, I think
3:30 for that crowd. It's going to be sold out. Top 25 matchup. I'm with that, and the Longhorns are just going to roll.
I think this is prime time Texas football is about to occur here.
Yeah.
Quentin Ewers and those boys are gonna really put it on.
All right.
Quentin Ewers is just he's gonna put a clinic on against Kansas.
Yeah, just sweep it across. That's fine. So I'll take Texas too. And,
Hook 'em horns.
yeah. I mean, I like Kansas's chances. I mean, they're a good team under Daniels, who's only played 2 games and thrown for 705 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 pick. But
Yeah, but this is like a Texas team that's actually like 2005 Texas. So
okay, I would compare it more to like a 2010 Texas. I don't know if this is Vince Young's Texas team. This is like a Colt McCoy Texas team.
But still good team all over.
Still good team, yeah. Still good team. So, all right, we'll stick with it. On the roll, Alex, we got Troy and Georgia State. I was about to say Georgia.
You couldn't find a better game.
This is a
This is what we're
pick.
going with.
This is a pick 'em here, pal. So, you got 2-2 Troy at 4-0 Georgia State, 7 o'clock. Georgia State's technically a 1-point favorite now. Sorry, I thought they were a pick 'em, but
Hey, that's a pick 'em.
yeah,
Mm.
keeping them tight here.
Yeah, Georgia State.
All right.
Oh, Sean Elliott's gonna get these boys to 5-0.
A guy that had his job on the line there last year, all of a sudden, going to take a team to 4-0, 5-0. Rhode Island, UConn, Charlotte, and Coastal.
UConn's not been a bad team this year though, and
Coastal's
Coastal's
not a
not
bad
a bad team either.
I'm gonna say with Coastal, everybody thought.
But it's also the fact that he's put
They
up
don't have
almost
Jamie-
40
Jamie
points.
anymore, though.
He's averaging at least 35 points a game.
Yeah, he's putting them up.
Yeah.
His defense is giving up 400 yards a game, but
Bend don't break.
yeah. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to take Troy. I'm gonna take Troy. I think they played some better teams. JMU, Western Kentucky, Kansas State, definitely.
They lost.
They lost to it.
They lost.
They did.
The last time I picked Troy, I lost. So
So,
I think Georgia State's going to pull this one up and go 5-0.
all right.
Yeah, I'm going to go Georgia State as well. Again, I hadn't seen much of either of these teams, but I'm pretty sure we have a hometown kid that went to Georgia State that went to Gray.
Casey Adams.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, for the hometown kid, I'll take Georgia State.
Yeah, with the hometown kid.
Kid's running the ball like he's losing his mind.
All right. What do we got here? We got Illinois and Purdue. So 2-2 Illinois, 1-3 Purdue. 3:30 game on Peacock. This is literally a pick'em in West Lafayette, Indiana. Tough sledding for these two teams. Fresno beat Purdue on a late second touchdown. They did beat Virginia Tech. Of course, Syracuse and Wisconsin beat them. You look over at Illinois, they barely beat Toledo on a game-winning field goal. Lost to Kansas, lost to Penn State, and then barely beat FAU last week at home. This sucks. And these are pretty even teams too, like 395 and 397 on the total yards on offense, then 422 and 404 on the yards allowed defensively. These guys need brand new defenses, is what I'm seeing.
It's about half the college football right now.
Give me Illinois. I'll take Illinois.
Well, the last time I picked Illinois when they lost, I don't even know who to pick here. Give me Purdue.
All right.
I'm gonna go with Illinois. I think they got a little bit better chance of winning the ball here. They got a halfway decent rushing attack, and I think that will be able to open up some things there in the passing game for them.
I'm going to go Purdue. I think they looked a little bit stronger in their losses against Wisconsin and Syracuse, which were expected losses, but like I said, I think they looked stronger than expected. The Virginia Tech, Fresno was like Chris said, last second field goals, but they still dropped 35 points on them. So yeah, I think Purdue is just going to edge this one out. I think it's going to be a last second field goal win for this game.
Okay. Well, your favorite, you get to start the South Carolina-Tennessee pick
I
off.
want to start this one.
So
I'll start us out if you don't want to.
2-2 South Carolina is on the road at Tennessee. 7:30 night game. Number 21 Tennessee. They're 3-1. Their one loss was to Florida. Obviously, this is what Tennessee is calling the revenge game for last year. I don't care who starts it off. I mean, if you really want Adam to start it off,
I mean, he can. That's fine. I mean,
Okay.
All right. Well, it's tough to beat a good team twice. Granted, this is in two separate seasons. We had the opportunity of it being a night game at home. We aired it out. We showed out at home. I think the exact opposite is about to happen at Tennessee this year. I think we're about to get throttled at Tennessee. I think they put it on us like we put it on them last year, and I think you see the Joe Milton offense here really sling it, especially with our defense not being 100%, and the way our O-line has played this year has just been subpar. They've gotten better, but again, when the ball was on the ground, it's easy to improve from that. But I think Tennessee puts it on South Carolina this year.
I won't say they put it on South Carolina. I think this game will be a shootout. Carolina's offensive line has clearly gotten better. I mean, each game they've improved. Everybody around the clubhouse has said the same thing. Everybody's agreed on that. Spencer's just rocking and rolling. I just don't trust the Clayton White defense. I think he's put us in a position to where we have to win shootouts. And as much as my heart wants to say take South Carolina, I think Tennessee edges us out on this one. I think it's going to be high scoring for both sides.
Want to let it ride?
I mean,
Why aren't
I
you going
don't-
next, Chris? Why do you want to go last?
No, I'm looking at him
I
because I,
don't-
know he wants to take South Carolina.
I do want to take South Carolina because I don't agree with Adam. I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I think I think Tennessee's defense is suspect, just like our defense is suspect. I think this is going to be more of a shootout. So we said
Did you just say it
throttling.
wasn't going to be a shootout?
Well,
I said it was going to be a shootout. He said it was going to be a
Yeah,
blowout.
throttling. I don't think Tennessee's going to throttle South Carolina. South Carolina, Spencer Rattler is playing too good. Our offensive line has gotten better. They have a true running back actually starting now
Yep.
No.
in Mario Anderson.
I am in between those picks right there. I think that I am sus of Tennessee because they have beaten Virginia and Austin Peay and UTSA, who UTSA was supposed to be a good team and has turned out being a garbage team this year. The loss to Florida is unacceptable for sure. I mean, they absolutely should not have gone into Florida as a 12, 13 point favorite, whatever they were, and then lost by 13. I think the difference, if this game was at South Carolina, I would feel a lot more comfortable trying to pick South Carolina.
Absolutely, I agree.
But-
I think it being a night game in Tennessee is what's going to make all the difference here.
I don't know that it would make the difference because South Carolina looked really good on the road at Georgia, which supposed to be a better environment than Tennessee.
And they were supposed to
Depending
beat
on
us
who
by 27, and we led 14-3 at halftime.
Yeah, so I think South Carolina has played better competition with Georgia, North Carolina, and I guess Mississippi State. I do agree with Alex. I think this is a close shootout. Now, I will take Tennessee on this one.
Can I change my answer?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to go South Carolina.
Okay.
Completely forgot about the Mario Anderson aspect.
I think that's the unique thing for me is like we have not been able to run the football. We did decently this past week. Tennessee has been a very good rushing team. The way for South Carolina to win this game is put Tennessee up against the back, right? Like put them in a 14-0 hole. Let's see how they
The
react.
key is going to be getting the run game going because we don't have tape on a run game because it just hasn't been existent.
Yeah.
So if we get a good running tempo going, their defense will have to shift for that, but then that's going to allow Rattler to just open up.
So that's going to allow Leggett to go on this crossover.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still saying I think this game is going to end up being like a
It's going to
45-42 kind of game.
Yeah.
My meters just went from like this to Tennessee to this to South Carolina. And my broken finger that just won't go straight. That's what my meter looks like. It matches my broken finger. It curves one way and comes back the other.
Take them if you want.
We need a pick, Keith. You're on the clock.
A lot of dead air over there.
I'll
Having something
run
out.
with Alex.
All right.
All right, on to the final two. We got LSU and Ole Miss. This is a number 13 versus number 20. Both teams are 3-1. Both teams have high expectations, I guess. They think they're great. So in Oxford, Ole Miss at 6 o'clock at night, this is a 2.5 point swing to LSU right now. LSU's loss, obviously, Florida State. Ole Miss's loss, Alabama.
Give me the Tigers.
Okay. LSU for Keith.
I think that loss to Florida State just lit a fire into them, and they're out for blood now. So give me the Tigers.
Oh man, as good as Jackson Dart and Ole Miss has been playing, Lane Kiffin and them, I agree with Keith. I think LSU takes this one, but I think this is going to be a close game.
Yeah, I'm going to go LSU as well.
Here comes the Ole Miss from Chris.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted Ole Miss the whole time, so I'm a little surprised. I think.
He also won against Bama last week, but
Yeah.
I want to against them
yeah,
last week.
all y'all did except for me.
I think the flip between this week and last week is I think Ole Miss has learned where they can be pushed. Right. I think that Tulane game was a really, really good game for them to get some early season challenge. But I think now that they know what they need to work on here in the SEC. It's also a road game, tough game in Alabama. You get to come home. You get to be in your crowd, your home stadium. Florida State beat the dog crap out of LSU when they were on the road. The only other real road competition they've had was at Mississippi State, which is turning out to probably be the second worst team in our conference this year. And then that game with Arkansas last week was not good for them. So I like my chances here with Ole Miss. All right, final game. Adam, take it away here. We got. Well, actually, you don't have to because you did.
I'll still
I just said LSU for a second. Y'all, one of y'all.
I'll take it.
All right, Alex feels good. We got number 11 Notre Dame 4-1, number 17 Duke 4-0. This is in Duke 7:30 right now. Notre Dame is a 6-point favorite coming off that loss to Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Notre Dame. I think they're pissed off that they lost to Ohio State the way they did. Last 5 seconds of the game, having 10 players on defense for the last 2 plays. I think they're gonna set their sails correctly and recover really nice and I don't know, hopefully expose Duke and show the weaknesses that they've got. Maybe punch a little bit of holes in the armor, but yeah, I think Notre Dame's gonna get this one.
This is the worst scenario for me because I own Duke in our college fantasy league, and I'm trying to figure out whether
And Duke's won by like 30 in every single game.
They've beaten Lafayette, UConn, and Northwestern. They haven't beaten many. I mean, they beat Clemson. I get that, but and Notre Dame. You look at it. Notre Dame really hadn't played anybody. They had a close game with NC State for a while. They broke away late in the fourth quarter of that game, and then of course they have the Ohio State game at home. So, this is game day.
Yeah. So Notre Dame is it twice in a row.
Yeah, they just happened to be at Durham this week. So, God, this is so hard.
I don't know.
I'm with
choice
Alex.
here.
I'm going to take Notre Dame because I still stand by my statement last week. Notre Dame has the most balanced offense in college football. They didn't put up enough points to secure themselves a win last week. That's on their fault. Hopefully the offense takes
Well,
it.
they played an actual defense too.
True.
Ohio State actually has a defense. I think Notre Dame has a defense. They proved that by holding Ohio State to 10 going into the last 5 seconds of the game. So I think Hartman comes out and has a great game, and they go out and beat Duke.
Yeah, I'm taking Notre Dame as well. I think what Alex said. I think last week's loss has got to be eating them alive because they had
that game.
Yeah.
They were in control of that game the whole way until that last drive, and then again the last 5 seconds is when you give up the 2-yard rush.
Not even 2 yard, yeah.
I mean, so the fact that that's what it came down to was a 2 or 1 yard rush there at the end of the game. You think that's what decided it all was one play right there. So you got to think that's got to be fuel for their fire for this week, and I think they go into Duke and take care of business.
What do you think about the 6-point line?
I think they win by 12.
Okay. Any other folks right now?
Yeah, I think Notre Dame wins at least by 10.
I think Notre Dame covers the 6 easy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay, that's going to be our Week 5 picks. As always, we appreciate you. Hit us in the comments. We'll get back with you. And as always, we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe.